Hey guys, it's such an awesome day. This is Armitria Misha, and I came here this morning because I want to share with you guys a revelation I got from the good book. I was reading this thing this morning and it was so good to me. I was reading a story of David and Goliath, and I want to share with you how I made a correlation between David, Goliath, Jay-Z, and Kanye. And I know you're like, how on earth does this go? That don't even match. But I'm going to make it make sense. Give me a second. So guys, I'm reading the story of David and Goliath, and certainly we can all identify with David, feeling like, being called the little guy, because certainly, obviously, David defeated a giant and he felt like he could do it. So he might have been small in body, but he felt mighty in spirit. Okay. But however, we have all faced some type of bully, whether the bully was financial, whether the bully was in a relationship, whether the bully was on your career, at your school, in your life, in your business. Whatever the giant, we have faced some bullies, even if it was in our own minds, telling us what we could and could not do based on something in the past that someone else told us that we could and could not do. Those are all bullies. And here's the thing that we all have in common. We've all faced it. None of us are or were exempt. So with that said, it was something that I learned. I've read the story of David and Goliath plenty of times, but this time I learned something completely and totally different. And that was, I noticed that Goliath was calling folks to him. Come up here. Who's going to come up here and do such and such to me? You nasty, filthy, dirty. His mouth was quite vulgar. He was just terrible. But David, however, unlike the rest who had preceded him and failed miserably, wasn't a part of the Simon says, Goliath says game. Goliath says, come up here. Goliath says, fight with a sword like me. Goliath says, do this. He wasn't all about that conformity. You see, David knew that Goliath was a cavalryman. He's skilled with a sword. And David wasn't too much concerned about that. You can be skilled with your sword. You can be skilled supervisor with your boss. You can be skilled enemy with your deceits, with your lies, with your hatred. You can be skilled with mediocrity. But I'm skilled with something. And so David did not approach Goliath the way that Goliath called him to be approached. And you have to realize that you have a choice in the matter. Not only was David full of faith, but he had accessed something. And what he had access was, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all of his righteousness, and all these other things will be added unto you. You see, David accessed the kingdom of God. And a lot of people think the kingdom of God is somewhere in the sky. It is not. The kingdom of God is inside of you. You are the kingdom. Seek ye first the kingdom. God sits on the throne here in you. And when David seeked out the kingdom, he moved from just passion, he moved from just purpose into a place that I would like to call element. He moved into his element, where he thrives, where he's the master. And what was David's element? What was in David's hand? A slingshot. David was an archer. What's in your hand? See, and David, and I could just imagine Goliath looking at him. Seriously, little boy? I said, come up here and fight me with a sword like a man. But David's like, no. I'm going to fight you like a boy. And God's boy at that. And David took that rock. He put it in his slingshot. And I'm pretty sure right at the point where Goliath went to hold his head back and crack up laughing, David hit that net, that jugular, knocked that bama, slam out. All of that to say is that your enemies, the job that you're on that you don't like, that relationship that keeps nagging at you that you know you need to leave. See, all of these things are calling you not to war, but to seek ye first the kingdom. And to fall into element and use the weapon in your hand. And your weapon is your talent. Your weapon is having access to your dreams and bringing into fruition your vision. That's your element. Not just the job. The bill man is going to keep calling because your job is not going to do it. Your friends going to keep talking, whatever. Just get it. And the way that this ties into Jay-Z and Kanye, listen, everybody knows that Kanye West cannot work a job. If you put him on a regular job or you make him a motivational speaker or something like that, he going to offend some folks. We all know this. But Kanye is amazing in the studio. He's amazing in a rap song. Amazing. A lyrical genius. A producing guru. Because that's his element. So you have to work in your element. And it reminds me of this song right here with Jay-Z and Jigga in it. And this is the one that I use when I think about my enemies, when I think about the people who told me that I couldn't, when I think about, those who called me the high school dropout, the mommy with 6 kids, when I think about being on welfare at one point, when I think about, those who said that I wasn't independent enough, when I think about all of these things, I tell them thank you. And then I go,
don't let me get in my zone. The stars is in the building. They hands to the ceiling. I know I'm about to kill it. How you know I got that feeling? You are now watching the throne. Don't let me into my zone. Don't let me into my zone. I'm definitely in my zone.
And that's where you got to be with it. Don't let you enter your zone. Tell the bill man today, don't let me into my zone. See, y'all pushing me and I'm about to enter my zone. I'm not going to come up here and fight you. I'm not going to fight poverty here. I got to fight it in my zone. That's why I started a business, because I had to enter my zone. I had to get in my element. I am an entrepreneur. I am naturally a creator because God is a creator and I'm made in his likeness and in his image. And so therefore, because I'm made in the likeness and the image of God, I'm a manifester. I create. And so you cannot put me in a box and expect me to thrive there. That's calling me up to fight you as a cavalryman when I'm an archer. Don't let me into my zone. I'm already entering. And you guys, I strongly encourage you to enter it too. So I am encouraging you to move from passion to purpose into element. This has been a real moment with Armitria Misha. Don't let me into my zone.